wanted to talk to you about something that I think is absolutely incredible in our industry that is happening right now, and the way how fast our industry is changing. It is changing so quickly that I can't even keep up with it. 6 months ago, on my written blog, if you don't go to my written blog, please do, michaellevinehair.com, and on that blog, I had written something called The Truth About Social Media in Hairdressing. And I talked about Insta-famous hairdressers because I was down in California and I had the opportunity to see a few hairdressers that are super, super big on Instagram. And I touched on the fact that ultimately, the point of the article was ultimately these people are just like you and I, and they're toiling away behind a chair. One of them was a hairdressing school instructor. And even though he has a super huge following, I was saying ultimately this guy is working as a hairdressing school instructor, and that's his primary income. And just like every other hairdressing school instructor, I mean, hopefully other hairdressing school instructors around are as awesome and as motivated as this guy, but ultimately that's what he does. And the girl that I talked about, she stands behind a chair, and if she's not standing behind a chair, she's not really making a living. And yes, there is a possibility, if you work really, really hard, of getting supplementary income by doing classes and maybe sponsorships by product companies and things like that. But ultimately, the point of it was that these people are just like you and I. Well, that's wrong. They're not just like you and I anymore, because the industry has changed massively in a very, very short period of time. And if you're paying attention to Instagram and through social media and Facebook, what you are noticing over the last maybe 3 months, a very, very short period of time, is that a lot of these people are busting out private classes, and they're traveling around and doing classes. Now, I had a really, really great opportunity to witness what that looks like firsthand. Now, I've traveled and done a hair show with the Butterfly Circus, which is basically this kind of a set. And the Butterfly Circus it's super powerful, and David and Alexis Thurston, what they have done with that group, and I've been lucky enough to have been included in it, and I'm going to be doing another show in Calgary at the ABA with Butterfly Circus, as well as my own team on that main stage as well. But what these guys have been able to do is take Insta-famous hairdressers and group them together and create a really interesting movement in independent education, and it's an incredible thing. And these guys are able to draw, and it's really, really cool. I probably don't have any right to be there because I'm not Insta famous, and I certainly am myself not a draw. I may be a draw if you follow my blog, but I'm certainly not a draw on social media. Well, maybe in social media, but not on Instagram anyways. I'm a nobody on Instagram. So maybe you'll follow me and make me a somebody, please. What I've been able to witness through what those guys have started, and now the way I'm seeing other people do things independently in social media, is a lot of people are doing private classes, and a lot of people are doing really, really well with them. A couple of my friends that I've met through social media and through the Butterfly Circus are touring together as a duo and doing color correction classes, and they came through Vancouver. And I was blessed enough to have them use my salon for one of their classes. And let me tell you something, guys. They filled that class with 30 people. Now, Vancouver is a very, very hard market. Vancouver is one of the hardest markets to do a class in. In fact, most people who try to do a class in Vancouver fail at it. And we lost our big hair show in Vancouver. You can't even get people out to a hair show in Vancouver at $40 a pop. And these girls came into my salon. They sold 30 tickets at $500 each. They ran a fabulous class. It was an amazing class. And I've got another one coming up in October with a really, really big hairdresser too. That one is Confessions of a Hairstylist, and she's coming to one of my salons. And I think she's looking to sell in the neighborhood of about 75 tickets total. And I know she will sell it. I think she's almost sold out now. The point of what I'm saying is, Jenny Strebe at Confessions of a Hairstylist, yes, she's super huge and we all know who she is. But this isn't now just a few people like her who she's very much at the top. There's a lot of people in the Instagram world of hairdressing who are doing extremely well. They could theoretically make a living just doing this. So the point of what I am saying is these guys are no longer tied behind the chair. These guys are no longer limited by what they can do with their hands, which 6 short months ago they were. There's very few people outside of these Insta famous people who could sell 30 tickets at $500 a pop. I don't think there's that many people that could do it. A lot of those people that have put in their time and they've been on all the big stages and they've worked for those big product companies, we don't really know who they are anymore. And they've been replaced really, really quickly. And independent education is very, very much taking over. That you don't need to be doing this under the umbrella of a product company. That's not to say the product companies aren't getting on this. We're seeing that No Yellow shampoo putting their product in the hands of every famous hairdresser out there. These girls that ran their class at my salon, they go under G.I. Joe. So I think it's at G.I. Joe Hair or something, but look them up. They're incredible. You should have seen their gift bags. I don't think they paid for anything in those goodie bags. They were loaded up with all sorts of stuff by smart product companies that are working hard to get these guys on their team. The power in the industry has shifted, man, and it is really, really cool. I think we are going to see a huge change in the industry. We're already seeing it with the big product company. The big product companies, those guys are way behind in the social media thing. And I try to have dialogue with these guys. I try to preach how this industry is changing. I preached the Church of Butterfly Circus to, I was just saying it to the owner of a really large distribution company, and he's never heard of these guys. And I'm like, how are you never heard? I'm like, this industry is so dynamic that if you're not on the pulse of it now, you're gone. You're a dinosaur. It's so fast. I was having dinner with a really good friend of mine, one of the best hairdressers I know, and we were talking about this. And this is a guy who, from a sheer talent, and not just talent, but I mean, he's worked his ass off. He's technically flawless, multi-NAHA winner. You know, this is a guy that travels the world teaching hairdressing. There's no possible way he could sell 30 tickets at $500 a pop. He couldn't do it. Yet, I mean, he can cut circles around 99% of the people on this planet. He can style circles around 99% of the people on this planet. That is how powerful social media is now. It's a dynamic industry, guys, and I used to think that you'd be tied to that chair. You're no longer tied to that chair. Go out there. Make it happen for yourself. Become super amazing, insta famous. And it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. There's a snobbery in this industry. Now I'm going to go off on a totally different tangent. There's like a faction of this industry that are being straight up assholes to these guys, and they're downplaying what these guys can do. Guess what? Being insta famous and being a super good hairdresser, those two things are not mutually exclusive. People say, oh, they can only do rainbow hair. Oh, it's vulgar and all this shit. You know what? Watch these guys do some hair. They are freaking awesome. Do I think that there are gifted, incredible hairdressers out there? Yeah, okay. They're not Angelo Seminaro, but who is other than Angelo? I mean, there's not... That doesn't mean that these guys aren't doing amazing things. I watched these guys do some hair firsthand, and I've stood next to some of the best and most famous hairdressers on the planet, and these guys are good freaking hairdressers, okay? Just because they're working within a genre today doesn't mean that they're stuck in that genre. They'll leave that genre and move into whatever else they want to move into when they want to do it. And guess what? They'll bring the rest of the industry trailing behind them. Yeah. So that's what's really happening in the industry right now. It's totally dynamic. It's totally exciting. It might be the most exciting time to ever be in the industry. And if you're a salon owner and you think that you can run your salon in the same old way, you better start seeing what's happening out there, because the industry has changed, and it is changing faster than we can keep up with. Enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm just a boy with a new haircut, and that's a pretty nice haircut. Charge it like a puzzle.